This is Ted with Let Out the Clutch, brought to you by my biker attorney, and my guest today is my friend James. James, say hello.
Hello.
So James and I have known each other for what, year and a half, 2 years?
Since 2022, May of 2022.
So how do you know that date?
That was the date that I got T-boned on a motorcycle. And a man that I'd never met before in my life, Bill Dragoo, came and picked me up from the side of the road with a trailer. I knew his son, Jake. Jake was my salesman that sold me this motorcycle I got T-boned on. And Bill, having never met me in his life, came and picked me up off the side of the road, took me to his house, kind of cleaned me up a little bit. And I had mentioned I'm probably going to have to contact an attorney for this because the way this woman was screaming at me when I was lying down kind of motionless on the pavement, she's probably going to try to say this wasn't her fault, and it was 100% her fault. So Bill said, well, call this guy. Send him a text message if you don't get a hold of him. And it was you. So, and that was the date.
Well, and I think this is bragging a little bit, but you're one of the people that I've represented that we then became friends through the process.
Yeah. Almost even before the end of the process, just as soon as it started, something came up about whiskey and cigars, and
it didn't. It didn't take long from there. No, and that's kind of what I got asked this question not long ago. How much longer do you want to do this? And the answer is it forever?
Yeah.
And that sounds cliche, but I enjoy the people I meet. And I've built some lifelong friendships, and we've gone on rides since then, and we've gone and had cigars together since then. So to me, it's a win-win for everybody.
Agreed.
But yeah, we've got a lot of things in common, and it goes back to not the same time frame, but you were in the Air Force as well as I was.
2002 to 2008.
And you served in the kind of the same area, right?
I did AWACS, and that's all I ever did was AWACS.
That's basically all I ever did. And I was obviously a lot earlier than you, and I was on the air crew, but you were maintaining our aircraft.
Computer maintenance. And I never actually worked on the aircraft itself. I worked in simulators, which you may have spent time in the mission simulators. That's where I
was an instructor there for a while.
There you go. I did maintenance on the mission simulators for 6 years.
That's funny because I taught in the 552nd. At the time, it was called TTS.
Yeah.
I think the name changed.
It has, but I can't remember what it's changed to.
Yeah. Well, I went through training, and obviously you go through the 552nd training, and then you go to, I think it was the 966 back then. And then I went operationally to the 964th. And I flew with them for quite a few years. And then I got transferred to TTS. I called it a platform instructor. I gave lectures in the classroom, taught simulator. And then we flew with the 966 to stay current with students. And then I went to the wing staff until I got out in 92. So you worked on the simulators.
Worked on the simulators. Sucked up a lot of solder fumes in those days.
Oh, I bet so. So tell me about the motorcycles. When did you get involved in motorcycling?
So I always wanted one. My dad had a late 80s Goldwing when I was a kid and just bought it to commute. We lived about 40 miles from where he worked.
Where was this?
Back in Indiana. He worked at Eli Lilly and Company. Pharmaceutical company. He was a computer guy. But lived about 40 miles, so he bought a motorcycle just to commute. Ended up loving it, and he rode all over the place, and anywhere that I could tag along, I was on the back of the bike and fell in love with it then. Didn't have my own until 2005. Always liked cruisers, but my buddies said, no, you want to buy a sport bike when you're a young kid. So I bought a 2002 Gixxer 750.
Nice bike.
In May of 2005, and fell in love with that immediately. Rode a lot of miles on sport bikes. I'd say probably close to 150,000 miles over the two sport bikes that I had.
That's a lot of miles.
That's a lot of miles on sport bikes, and then I wised up.
Without a backrest, without cruise control, without a lot of the ergonomics that I'm spoiled with.
Yeah. Wised up and decided maybe I should get something a little more comfortable, and had a 2006 Gixxer 750 at the time, and I traded it title for title with another guy from Craigslist for a 2007 Vulcan 1500 Classic.
Okay, so you went to a different brand and a little
Kawasaki. kind of Harley style bike is what people would call it, you know, and didn't want a Harley at the time because everybody, you don't want a Harley. Those are too cliche. So rode around on that for about a year. Traded it for then a 2011 Kawasaki Vaquero, which is kind of like Kawasaki's answer to the Road Glide. Got the fixed front fairing and the hard bags on the back. Had 2 of those over the years. Can probably put around 80,000 miles between the 2 of those. And the second one, I was riding by Harley World and stopped for no other reason than to strip some layers off because I was getting hot. And Jake Dragoo comes out and compliments my bike. I'd never really met him before then. He'd been working at dealerships for years. I'd seen him before, but he comes out, compliments my bike. What do you got going on? I was like, I'm just stripping out layers, man. Walk, come in and look at some stuff. No, okay.
Dragoo charm. There's a lot of that.
He is a charming man, and showed me. He said, "Well, what would you have to have?" Well, it'd have to be a fixed front fairing because I'm attached to the fixed front fairing. Shows me all the Road Glides in the shop, and nothing really appealed to me. And you start hearing this squeaking coming from the maintenance area. You know, they're taking this bike in on trade a couple days earlier, just put brand new tires on it, and they're pushing it out
on the concrete.
So you turn around, and it's this wicked red denim is the color of the bike. It's a matte, kind of a dark matte red. I kind of blacked out after that. Next thing I knew, I was coming home with a motorcycle.
That happens from time to time.
And
what year was that bike?
That was a 2019.
And same year as mine.
It lasted me about 200 or 2,000 miles until the incident where we met. And I loved the bike so much, I found another one identical to it in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and hired, I don't remember the name of the company now. I hired a company to go pick it up for me and brought it back. And by the time I was healed up enough to ride, I'd had a new bike in the garage.
That lady was lying in your case, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she said that she had the right of way and that you did not.
Right.
We went down there together, didn't we? And we walked it and looked it over.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no stop signs on the road that I was on. And she had a stop sign. And she stopped, but then she went.
But that wasn't her whole story. Her story was that someone waved her across.
Yeah, there was pedestrians telling her it was safe to go.
That's crazy stuff.
And she tried to blame it on me speeding, and
yeah, that wasn't true.
There was no evidence. I don't speed because I don't like tickets.
Well, we went down together and we went through the whole scenario and the options and that's one thing I've learned about this job I do is that you can hear the stories and everybody's got their version of the story and there's truth from both sides. But when I put myself to where she said she was and to what she said she saw, the two couldn't be possible at the same time. There was a building there blocking you if you stop at the right place. So anyway, so tell me, you found the same bike again?
Identical bike. It had more miles on it. When I bought the first one, it had 7,800 miles on it. This one had 17,000, I think is what, or 18,000 miles on it when I bought it. But identical bike. The bars were 2 inches taller. Other than that, everything was basically the same. Then I bought it, and somebody helped me get some money out of somebody else, and I was able to customize it with everything that I wanted. I put lower fairings on it. I put a detachable tour pack, a heated seat, heated grips, swapped out to a full exhaust system, put a nice looking air breather on it, and all the things that I would have wanted to do to the other one eventually I've now done to this one very quickly.
How many miles does it have on it now?
I should have looked before I left. I was calculating on the way up here. Between the two, I think I've put about 40,000 miles on the Harleys.
And I would tell you that in all the bikes I've had, the Road Glide is the one I missed the most.
It's such a smooth bike. I'm sure the older ones Just by looking at them, they shake the crap out of you.
Well, my first one was a 2011,
Okay.
and it was an awesome bike, and I had it till 2019 when I bought the 19, so I had it a long time. But I like the Milwaukee 8,
Yeah, yeah.
and
It's so smooth.
I think it's really smooth.
It doesn't shake the bike at all.
No, it doesn't, and it's had some better features, and I still today, the 2019 Road Glide was my favorite motorcycle I've had, at least to ride and actually enjoy. It's just an amazing motorcycle.
The stock suspension is decent. I haven't changed the suspension yet. I would like to put some remote shock on the back, but I haven't
Well, and you might,
researched it much.
you know what, if you do that, go down that road. I've got a friend that's going to be on the show soon that just did the Hoka Hay,
Oh yeah,
the 10,000 mile
Yeah.
Terry.
I followed that. Yeah.
And she did Fox shocks.
Okay.
I would never have thought about, but she's.
So that's a dirt bike brand.
We're going to have that discussion with her someday.
Okay.
But she thinks it was the most amazing thing on her motorcycle and the best change she did to her motorcycle. So if you've got questions about that, I'll get you in contact with Tia. We'll see her someday.
But
On a run.
and they were too.
Oh, we saw
we went to the
Sewer.
the Iron Monk.
We did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I had met her years ago when I was working with Down Bikers Association doing their flyers for their events.
That's right. We went for a ride together. We went with the doc,
Yep.
and we left from here, and we went up to the Iron Monk. Yeah, I forgot about that. You did know her. Yeah, this is a strange world because there's a whole lot of interactions here. So I have a saying about Oklahoma: be careful who you're talking about, because someone in the room is married to them, divorced them, or knows them, or something. But the motorcycle was kind of the same way. Well, anyway, we're talking about T. She rode the Hoka Hay with Fox shocks on her. Her bike's called Miles. It's a street glide, but basically a sister, brother to the Road Glide.
Right.
You might look at those. So how many miles do you think you put on this before you change your mind and get something different? Or is this the bike you're going to have for a while?
The way my history has gone, I don't trade a bike until I total it, which is a bad way to. I'm a poster child for how not to ride a motorcycle in Oklahoma. You know, it's been a weird path, but every time that happens, I learn something new about how to avoid incidents. So
Well, in your case, I don't know anything you could have done differently. And in my case, that's a tag off the car that hit me. When an idiot pulls out from a stop sign, that's what happened to me as well.
yeah,
You're at the mercy of God at that point in time, how it goes and how you prepare yourself with gear and that sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, we rode the night with Doc, and you shot video and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of a fun thing. And
Yeah, that's a little thing I do too. I'll put the moto vlog style videos on YouTube, and nobody watches them. I've got 400 something subscribers, but it's fun. I enjoy doing it.
well, and I obviously we're friends first, but I'm on your social media page too, and you've got something that tracks your rides too, which I have never done.
It's an app called Relive.
Okay, I pulled it up and downloaded it just after one of your last posts.
It's a really cool app. The way it tracks your elevation, it tracks your speed. It'll tell you along the ride where you were at your highest elevation, where you hit your top speed.
Does it track speeds as well?
It tracks speed, and that's another thing. You can go back if you're running this app while you're riding. You can go back to exact locations of where you were at, and it'll tell you what speed you were going there. If I had been running that in the incident, I could have been proven that I didn't speed.
I did download it this past week, but does it require a subscription?
No, there is a subscription, but it's not required.
Now, when you do it, do you have to have your phone on the whole time, or what do you do with your phone?
You can it runs in the background. You can have your Waze or Google Maps or whatever up on your phone doing what you would normally do. You can have the phone locked. It's just you open the app, you hit the start record button, put it in the background, forget about it. If you take pictures along the way, even with your phone's regular camera, not within the app will recognize that you took pictures at this location while you were riding, and it'll recommend, hey, would you like to put these pictures in the video that it creates? And it'll put the pictures exactly where you were on the map.
I have not used that. That's got to be pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I haven't used that part of it in the last few times that I've used it, but it's really cool how it puts the pictures in exactly where you were on the map.
And we've done short rides together a few times now, but I see that you ride very often and you like picking places to go for a meal, lunch, dinner, something like that.
That's where I decide where I'm going to go. I'll get on TripAdvisor or travelok.com and I'll type in motorcycle burger in the search bar, motorcycle barbecue.
Beers every time, doesn't it?
That's people that have left reviews. It'll go through them, and somebody will say, oh, I was riding through this area on my motorcycle and had a burger at this place. So it brings out, I get 20 different restaurants every time I pull that search on one of those sites. I'll pick one and try to find the most interesting way, going through the most interesting areas to talk about while I'm talking to my camera along the way.
And when I got T-boned on my 2019 in South Dakota, I chose the lowrider because I didn't need the GPS anymore. Because what you said is true. If you plug in an address into the GPS of the motorcycle, it keeps directing you to the shortest route, which is never the route that I want to take somewhere.
Right. Which I leave the GPS on, but I got an idea of where I want to go and kind of ignore it until
it figures out where you are.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what year it was. I was over in Arkansas by myself riding Bikes and Blues time frame, and I was trying to find this. I don't know what it was. It was a mill or some bridge I was trying to find, and I had the map pulled up on the road glide, and it kept telling me to turn different places. I'm like, this is not right. Nothing looks right because it keeps wanting to put me on 4 lanes or a highway or something like that. And that's not where I want to be on the motorcycle.
I'm not sure how well it works in Oklahoma because we don't have great motorcycle roads here, but the navigation app Waze, there's a switch in there that you can turn on that says better roads for motorcycles. There's a switch in there that you can turn off that says avoid gravel or avoid unpaved.
So I use Waze on travel a lot because it gives me alerts for construction. Right. That's it. That's the ones I'm worried about.
Cars on the side of the road.
Yeah, not the police stops. But I didn't know it had a motorcycle version too.
It's deep in the settings on the phone. You can't do it while it's projecting on your bike screen or whatever. But in the phone, you can go in there and say prefer motorcycle preferred routes and avoid unpaved roads. It hasn't let me down yet, but it's hard for it to let you down in Oklahoma.
Okay, so I admitted in one of my videos that I'm kind of stuck on a route. I just do kind of the same thing every time, and it's just usually a backwards route of the same thing. Mulhall to Stillwater and then down again, or vice versa through Pops to Wellston. Go see, Seba Station was a thing, still is a thing, maybe not be for long. Go out that direction, turn north on 177. Foreman's is now gone, so that's kind of changed a little bit now.
Right.
So what has been the best road you've ridden since you've been trying to do this as far as a place to go? We rode Mulhall to Stillwater.
Yeah, we rode part of Mulhall. That's there's 3 routes that if I'm going north, I try to find something where I'll go through Mulhall. If I'm going west, I'll go Hinton to Cogar on Highway 37, I think it is. Has a really nice
Does that go away to
twisty road
or not?
That's
further south.
That's way further south, yeah. Hinton to Cogar goes down to 152.
Okay.
Right before you get to like Gracemont area.
Okay, and I don't know that well.
It's probably the curviest road in Oklahoma. Probably about 15 90-degree turns. It's a very freshly paved highway.
Now, if we left from here, is that an hour, 2 hours? How long is it?
It's about probably 30 minutes to Highway 37 in Hinton. And probably about another 30-minute ride to get to 152.
That's not bad
It's not bad at all. And that'll take you to Anadarko, that'll take you to Chickasha, that'll take you to Quartz Mountain eventually. So that's my west route. And then my more eastern route would be take Blanchard down to 74B, I think is the name of the road. We always called it Roller Coaster Road back in my sport bike days. If you got the bike going faster than the speed limit, hypothetically, you could hypothetically catch air, at least on your front tire, when you came over the top of some of these hills. And then after that, after the hilly portion, there was a few sweepy curves, but it's the best you get in Oklahoma kind of situation.
Yeah, I get stuck in a rut. So I'm going south. I'm usually going to Mears,
Yeah,
Medicine Park, Mears, Mount Fort Scott, that kind of thing.
and that's a good route to take the Hinton to Koga route, and then go through Anadarko to get to Mears.
Now, what's your favorite restaurant you've been to?
Probably Fat Bullies. You ever been to that one?
Been down to Arbuckles.
Yes, it's a burger joint. They name all their burgers after motorcycles.
It's real good. I don't know why I thought it was under some new ownership or maybe going through some changes, but I'm sure it's on social media to figure that out. But
I
yeah,
don't know for sure.
yeah, is it Sulphur, that area down there?
Yep. And of course, you got to buzz over to get a fried pie from Arbuckle Fried Pies after you stop at Fat Bullies.
Now, I want to go down to Ken's at Amber. Have you been there?
Long time ago, my wife and I went there for our second wedding anniversary, I think, and we're coming up on 19 right now.
I was looking at that, maybe even possible this weekend if the wind could possibly.
It was a very good steak. We'd heard from lots of people that's one of the best steaks in Oklahoma, and it was a very good steak.
Yeah, it's a small place, only open limited hours, right?
Yes.
I think weekends or something like that.
And Amber is, if you wipe some dirt out of your eye, you'll miss it kind of place also.
Now, does your wife ride too?
She used to. That's how we met. She had a GSXR 600 when we met. Shortly after we met, it got stolen out of the garage while she was out of town.
Good.
That's a really long story that I'm not going to bore you with here, but I made a video about it just recently. And because we had just met, her dad thought it was me that stole the bike. We got that taken care of. That's corrected. But shortly after that, she bought a 2006 GSXR 750, and she had that bike until the year that I bought the first Harley, August 2022. She hadn't been riding much anymore. Probably only 4,000 miles in the last 5 years. Her back bothered her so much that she decided it was time to finally let it go, and sold it to a kid in Ardmore. And about a month and a half later, he sent me a video with a giant hole in the side of the engine where he had over revved it and threw a rod. So beautiful bike. It was black and dark maroon. And between it and I had the 2006 Gixxer 750 when I traded it, I took all the Goes Fast goodies off of it and put it on her bike. So beautiful bike, and it had all the parts, all the good things on it. And we thought the kid was level-headed, but he wasn't.
Now, you've now fallen in love with Harley. Do you think you'll stay with the Road Glide for your next bike too? Because I think I made a mistake when I went away from it. What do you think you're going to do next?
They're not gonna change it anytime soon. So far, I have not fallen in love with how the new Road Glide looks.
The fairing and stuff?
The fairing, the tiny bags, they're not tiny. They're much bigger than stock, but I like the stretched bag look, like it's on the Road Glide Special, and the giant screen.
It did get bigger for, I think
It's
23 or 23
screen.
more than a bit, much bigger.
But at the same time, I hated the Kawasaki Vaquero until I rode one. And immediately everything about it just fit me perfect. And I fell in love with it, and I bought one after one test ride. And that was the same with the Road Glide. I didn't like, you said you had a 2011 Road Glide. It still had,
So the 2011.
that still had the dual headlights up front that were split.
Mm-hmm.
I never fell in love with that look. And I never fell in love with the look of the 2019 that I bought until I saw it up close and I rode it. And so maybe we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, my 2011 was matte black. No, they call it denim.
Yep.
Denim black. So you got the denim red.
Denim red.
It was denim black.
After I owned my second Vaquero was matte black, and they're such a pain to wash. You can't polish them. If they get scratched, they're just scratched. And I swore I'd never own another matte bike until I saw this matte bike. Now I own another.
It's called
matte
patina, right?
Patina.
Not quite.
Something like that.
Now you still work for the government, right?
Yes.
You're in computers. What are you doing now?
Kind of program management in a sense. I work with several different vendors procuring processors, server processor for different government contracts and whatnot. I can't talk a whole lot about it, you know.
Okay, tell you. Come on. I've heard that before. So, do you do any of the events? Like I mentioned, bikes, booze, and barbecue. You know, I got T-boned doing the Sturgis Rally. Do you do Daytona, Bike Week, anything like that at all?
The biggest event I've done was the Rot Rally. I went there twice.
Okay, I went there many years. I think that hasn't happened in a long time.
They stopped doing it, I think, in 2019, 2020, maybe. COVID kind of killed it, and it was slowly dying before COVID anyway.
And I've got pictures. Oh my God, I'm showing my age. Forever ago, I actually was young in the pictures. At Rock Rally with some friends, and I think it was early 2000s.
It was 2015 and 16 that I went with my buddies. And some of them had been going since 2008 was the first time that they went. And then when we went, we made about a 2,500 mile trip to get to Austin, Texas from here.
Okay, and I drove the trip on my bike, and it didn't take 2,500 miles to get there.
Yeah, we rode we rode west as far as New Mexico, Arizona border the first year, and then as far as Moab, Utah the second year, and then south to Silver City, New Mexico, and started heading back east into Austin, Texas. Both years we somewhat primitive camping, just tent camping at campgrounds with a power pole close by, but never stayed in hotels, never stayed at Airbnbs, just ran into the nearest town, grabbed a case of beer, and went and slept it off.
No, I found the picture not long ago, and it was my friend name's Bob. He's passed away. It was Harley Bob's what I called him. A guy named Brian Durbin, who I need to have on the show. A friend of mine still rides. And Kevin and myself. And the Bible calls it unequally yoked. I was unequally yoked. I was driving a 2004 BMW GT 12. I think it was a 1200 GT.
Okay.
Blue, had heated seats, grips, fast as crap.
Is that one of the dual sport, or not dual sport, the adventure bikes?
Sport touring.
Okay.
There's a picture in here somewhere of it. And then Durbin was riding a peanut tanked 883 Sportster without a tack or a speedometer. We were unequally yoked. It was not fun riding because they were stopping every freaking exit. And the BMW did not need to stop every exit.
Yeah.
And Durbin, if you're out there, wasn't keeping a constant speed and wasn't driving much over the speed limit. And I would just pass them, go down quite a few miles, pull over and find a place and get a drink or snack and sit and wait for them to catch up and then go on down. I had a friend in Pierre was there as well. Yeah, it was a great trip, but we were not on equally yoked motorcycles. It was a fun trip, but the riding was a little difficult when the bikes do have different performance levels and different things. I actually loved that motorcycle, and I got rid of it because I have this saying: if you get off the bike and you walk away without looking back, then you have the wrong motorcycle.
I get made fun of it about that quite a bit. I'll turn back. Look at that pretty girl back there.
I had the BMW for a lot of years, and I actually bought a Deuce in the same time frame, an anniversary of 2003 Deuce. Deuce was nowhere near the motorcycle the BMW was. But when I got off the Deuce, I looked at it.
Yeah.
When I got off the BMW, I didn't. I didn't think about it. It was a wonderful machine.
I get that.
It wasn't the same thing.
That's how I was with the second Kawasaki Vaquero. I should have never bought another identical bike after having owned one for 2011 to 28, 7 years.
But James just bought the identical bike.
I only owned that one for a couple thousand miles, so it was different. And I had already fallen out of love with the 2011 Vaquero when I bought the 2013 Vaquero.
So I want to go on your lunch rides. I'm kind of jumping back to that again.
Okay.
So is it weekends, Saturday, Sunday? When do you do it typically?
I've got every other Friday off of work, and several of my buddies from work do too. So a lot of them are on Fridays when the wives are still at work,
Preoccupied with
kind of
something
situation, right? But really, whenever the weather's nice, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's no rhyme or reason. A lot of the nicer, or not a lot of the further out greasy spoon style restaurants, are closed on Saturdays and Sundays, or close early on Saturdays and Sundays. So that's where the Fridays come in when we ride far out somewhere. A lot of the Saturday, Sunday stuff is maybe 75 miles one way.
I'm inviting myself. Is it through a text group or is it something you post on social media?
Neither. I'll just start sending text messages. Hey, you want to go? So I'll start including you.
All right, we need to do that, and we need to maybe see if we can't get other people involved too, because Fridays are a good day to ride when you less traffic than
Right.
Saturdays out, that kind of
Exactly.
stuff too. Now, how about goals down the road? Do you want to go to Sturgis, Bike Week, something like that? Or do you care anything about it?
I enjoyed the Rot Rally, and that was about as many people that I could deal with. I don't like to ride with a lot of people. We're like maybe 15 tops.
I don't like riding with a lot of people. I don't like riding with people I don't know.
That too. So typically it's just me and my buddy Dwayne on a Saturday, Sunday ride. The Friday ride is just me and my buddies Gary and Jim from work
Yeah.
that I went to Rot Rally with. And
And I mentioned the group I rode to Rock Rally. I forgot one of the guys' name to mention it. I'm not going to do it now. But yeah, I wouldn't know where he was all the time because he was a new rider and he scared me to death. Whether he was going to run over me or somebody or do something.
Right.
So I kept him in sight most of the time.
that's another thing too. A lot of the folks that I ride with, I don't have to keep track of them. I know they're going to be close enough that they're not right on me, but they're close enough that I can still see them, kind of thing, And none of us really like to speed. We all like the twisties. We all stay in a nice little group. None of us smoke cigarettes, so we don't have to stop every 7 minutes for a smoke break. That's a big thing. I don't mind if you were mentioned a Sportster with a peanut tank. I don't mind stopping every 50 miles to fill up, as long as we're right back on the bike getting on the road. I don't want to stop because somebody needs nicotine in their system right now. Yeah. That's for the end of the ride. We'll light a cigar.
Well, this goes back to us becoming friends. One of the things we talked about, and you mentioned at the very beginning, was cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been to Burn a few times.
Yep.
And having cigars. Do you still go? I haven't been there in quite a while.
Sundays, sometimes if the weather's not nice enough for a ride, I'll buzz up there for they open up right at 2:00. I'll get breakfast at that Hatch restaurant right next door and zip around and have a cigar and leave before they start playing live music at 4:00 or 6:00, whenever it is.
Do you have a favorite one right now?
A favorite cigar?
Yeah.
Probably a Plasencia
Nice.
Alma Fuerte.
See, the Plasencia makes an octagon shape.
That's the one, the Alma Fuerte.
That's expensive.
Yes, it is. And it's getting worse.
All right. Well, I think I could blame Scott and blaming other people today. Scott from Indian at Watanga last year introduced me to it. It's in a case over there. Olivia?
Mm-hmm. Oliva.
And we switched out, and he gave me an Oliva, and I forgot what the label was, but it was a nice cigar.
I'm going to say probably a Melania
It might have been.
or a Melania V. That's kind of their top of the line cigar, right?
No, it's under a $15 cigar.
It's still a cheaper, not cheaper. It's still a more affordable cigar.
Yeah,
But that's their kind of top of the want list is the Melania V.
As long as my health provider's not looking, there is a case of them in there, a box or two of them
Okay.
I bought. So
We'll take a look.
we can't find one out here in a minute. But yeah, to me, it's just relaxing to have a cigar.
It's at least an hour and a half that you don't have to think about what you're doing.
Which is kind of like why I like riding motorcycles.
Exactly.
Because I get on the bike and I do have comms, but I don't connect it to the phone to make a phone call. I didn't buy the Road Glide. I bought the Lowrider because I didn't use the radio. I just like the kind of being alone.
I like the sound of the bike. I like the sound of the wind. I'll have the radio playing to where I can hear it when I come to a stop. I usually don't crank it up loud enough to hear it on the road. I do have comms in my helmet. I've got a ham radio that I mount on my handlebars, and I have it linked up to that. And I'll just try to make ham radio contacts when I'm in these small cities and towns every once in a while, but I don't talk to anybody.
Well, your analogy is correct to the cigar too. I hadn't thought about that, but it's kind of a retreat. It kind of slows things down, kind of calms them down, and it's a slow conversation for an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. And even if it's not a conversation, every night I'm sitting on my front porch with a cigar to catch up on my shows.
I've traveled a little bit and try to find a cigar bar wherever I go, and it's interesting that the people are so nice,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to come sit and talk to you and hear your story or something like that too. But they're usually, I don't know, it's a pretty cool atmosphere.
I ran into a guy at Burn probably about 6 months ago that was on a motorcycle traveling Route 66 from Santa Monica to Chicago. And that was one of the things that he was doing was every town where he found a cigar lounge, he'd stop and have a cigar at a cigar lounge on the way. Like, how long is this taking? I don't care. I'm retired.
That's nice.
He'd already been at it for about 3 months from Santa Monica.
That's very nice. Very nice. Well, thank you for being on the show tonight.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me.
This is James Corey, and this is Ted Leslie with Let Out the Clutch. Thanks, everybody.